What are the types of middlewares in Express.js? Yes, there are multiple types of middlewares, and here I will just share their names, and in upcoming questions I will explain them one by one. The first type is application level middleware. Second type is router level middleware. Then we have error handling middlewares, and then built-in middlewares. And the last is third-party middlewares. In upcoming questions, we will explore these middlewares, and most importantly, we will see when to use which type of middleware in which type of situation in your application. That is very important. So be ready for the journey, okay? What is the difference between application level and router level middleware, root level middleware, sorry. You already know 90% of the answer to this question. Here is the code for application level middleware. This is the middleware implementation I already explained, and this is application level middleware, okay, because it will be executed globally for all incoming requests and for all URLs in your application. The name is also like application level because it is common for all the requests coming to your application, okay, that's why application level. Now let's see the code example of root level middleware. Here is our middleware, and it is root level middleware because it will execute only for this specific URL, or you can for this specific route, same thing, okay, and not for others, not execute. So I already explained this also, right? But why I am covering this separately? Because sometimes we know the answer and the concept, but we don't know the different terms and names like root level middleware, application level middleware. So these terms can confuse us, and I want to make sure we do not be confused, okay? So if we know the answer, we should know it completely. All right, the same has been mentioned here also, so that if anyone wants to revise from the book later, then it will be very much pretty easy for them. What is error handling middleware and how to implement it? First of all, what is error handling? Error handling means when the users are using your application, then in case of any error, the developer must have written some code in the application to capture the error, and then properly log the error details, okay, so that the later developer can analyze the error and can fix it, okay. That is error handling, very high level idea. And also in case of any error, you have to send a suitable message to the user and client also. That is also error handling, okay. Otherwise the random technical error pages can confuse your non-technical users. Now to implement error handling, now listen carefully. Suppose you have this middleware code. Here we are directly calling a middleware inside this app.use method, okay. And here I am intentionally and purposely throwing this error, okay, because I just want to show you the code to how to handle this error later. Of course, in real applications, you will not generate an error like this. It will come from the user side, okay. Now to handle this error in the next middleware, I will use this additional error parameter, ERR parameter, along with the request, response, and next parameters. That is the important thing. This error parameter is an error object, and this will only capture the errors from the above middlewares. Got it? So the first I will log the error details by logging the complete stack trace of the error. And then I'm sending a proper user-friendly message to the user with a proper status code, because that is the purpose of error handling, right? Now, obviously, you will write here if else condition here. If this error object is null, then you will execute the normal middleware code. But if error object is not null, meaning there is some error, if then only you will run this code, okay. And then after that you can simply start the server like this, and now if you test the code, run the application, open the browser, enter this URL, and as a user you will see the proper error message which was our first requirement, and because initially I intentionally throw this error, right? That's why we are seeing the error here. And in the console also you will see the proper error stack trace, which you can log somewhere in some text file, and then later as a developer you can do the analysis on that and fix the error. Great, that is the whole process. And finally, here I have summarized what is error handling middleware, and then how to implement error handling middleware by using the error object parameter. Both I already explained, written here, so that revision from the book will be very easy, quick and fast during the last minute preparation just before the interviews. This is like a scenario based question. So if you have 5 middlewares, then in which middleware you will do the error handling? These kinds of questions are very much important for interview purpose. Okay, they will try to confuse you. So like this is the code and we have 5 middlewares. Then you should handle the error object in the last and 5th middleware. Okay, now listen carefully, because when an error occurs, for example an error occur inside the second middleware, okay, then express.js will directly jump and execute the middleware which has an error handling code. Got it? The third and fourth middlewares will not be executed. Okay, therefore always handle the errors only and only in the last middleware, because your express will search for the middleware. Okay, so suppose if you have handled the error in this fourth, so in case the error will occur on fifth middleware, then what will happen? Then you will miss that error. Okay, so that's why handle the error in the last middleware. Great, that is the answer to this question, and the same has been written here also for later revision purpose. What is built-in middleware? How to serve static files from the Express.js? So yes, sometimes we have to serve static files like images directly from our Express application, right? And for that the answer is simple. Like this code, we can call the static function of the Express framework inside the app.use method. Now you already know we call middleware inside this app.use method, right? Here the static function is a middleware only, okay, but this middleware is an inbuilt function provided by the Express framework. You do not have to define this middleware, write the code for this middleware function, because it is already present with the Express framework. Okay, so like this, there are many other inbuilt middlewares also provided by the Express framework to make the developers work simpler. And great, now all your static files inside the public folder will be available directly. When I say directly means we do not normally need any authentication process for the static files. Okay, and then in the code we can call the rest of the middlewares and then start the server like this. In the browser, if you will enter the URL of the static file, and do not enter public here in the URL, and you will get the static file directly access to you. This is the role of the static middleware, which is an example of the built-in inbuilt or built-in, same thing, okay, middleware. Remember to put the public folder and this code file under the same folder, otherwise this link will not work if you are trying to code this what I have coded here. Great, that is the answer to this question, and the same is written here for later revision. What are third-party middlewares? Give some examples. Okay, so we as developers can create our own middlewares, right? Then we can use the inbuilt middlewares from the Express framework. Okay, then we can also have this third-party middlewares. Third party, because these middlewares are not part of the Express frameworks, and we are also not creating them as a developer. Basically, externally, some come from community, some developer will create these, okay, and we can use them. Okay, for that, first we have to install them by using this npm install command, So see, all these helmet, body parser, compression, these are very, very popular third-party middlewares. Maybe later in question I will discuss them, but now you know what is third-party middlewares provided from the community externally. We have to install them. Built-in middlewares, we do not install them. Okay. Okay, so then in the code we have to import them like this. Then we can call them inside the app.use method. Very simple. And here in comments I have also written about the use of these specific third party middlewares. For example, this helmet is used for setting HTTP security headers. Okay, then this body parser middleware, basically the requests which are coming, it will parse them. Okay, it will crawl them, check what are the contents of the request. Okay, then this compression middleware for compressing the HTTP responses. So this is used for the performance, improving the performance. Basically, the responses going from your applications, we will compress them as much as possible. Then their size will be less, and that will improve the performance. Okay, great. These are just examples, and there are many more which you can use in your application as per your application requirements, right? Okay, now you know what are third-party middlewares and how to implement them. Finally, here I have written the simplest definition of this third-party middleware. Then I written common purpose of them, what are their purpose, and finally some examples also. I hope this information is enough to understand the third-party middlewares, right? Can you summarize all the types of middlewares? Yeah, this is just like a revision question and very theoretical answer, very short format I will provide you. If you understand all the previous questions, the types of middlewares, then here is like the one-line definition for all those middlewares. Okay, and here it is. I think you already know them, but why I'm writing it down here? To recollect all your memories, all the previous learnings, because sometimes we have very less time to revise. Just check out this question and you are ready, but of course you have that prior foundation. Okay, that's the answer to this question. What are the advantages of using middlewares in Express.js? Very important question, and the good news is you already know the answer, but I am writing it down here because sometimes we know the answer but we don't know the right words to how to explain. Okay, so that's why you will learn the words here, not answer you already know. Okay, first advantage is modularity. You know, yeah, this is the word. Okay, so yes, middlewares are like the small function, or you can say the modules that do a specific task, right? So modular. Okay, modularity, I hope you understand, like break down your application into smaller functions which you can reuse all over your applications. So middlewares support modularity. Second advantage is reusability. Yes, you can reuse the same middleware at multiple places, which makes your application code easier to maintain. Third advantage is improve request handling. Meaning, with the help of the middleware, you can easily handle requests and response in a better way. Okay, remember, in a better way. For example, you can use a middleware to validate the content of the incoming request. Just an example it is. Fourth is flexible control flow. Meaning, you can decide which middleware will be applied to which type of route, which type of request. So that's completely flexible. Okay, so that is the flexibility you have. Last advantage is third-party middlewares. Yes, you can use the outside written code, outside middleware in order to implement different types of features, or you can simplify your application, right? Great. That is there are many more, but I think 5 is enough. If you can name 2 or 3, explain you can advantages, that is enough. Okay, and yes, I have written all the description here. I already explained them, but to revise, you need not to hear me again and again. Okay, when you are revising, Just a quick glimpse of this question can help you in the last minute preparation just before the interviews.